Here we are, Dad. We're on episode number 2. How are you feeling?
I am doing well. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I think we should just get into the song today. The song that we have featured is a Matinee of Memories, and it's actually a little bit of a longer song, more of a ballad. I'd like to do the same thing I did last week, and that's play a section of the song, and then let's talk about it.
This song will be a tough one for me because it's one that strikes my heart and came from my heart. And it's truly a story. It's a 6-minute piece, but it talks about a good piece of our life and a very important day in my life.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to dive in, so I'm going to go ahead and push play, okay? This is called Matinee of Memories.
I spent a lifetime making movies, although I didn't know the things I do would stay with me as a moving picture show. I've always lived within the present, sometimes wandering off the line, and making precious memories was really never on my mind. Most of that road is behind me now. The path ahead is short and slow, and I'm finding that my memories help keep me on the go. 'Cause now I'm much too old to fly, but I can still open my mind's eye and see of my sweet memories. It was the fall of '62 when I first laid my eyes on you, and didn't think I'd ever have a chance. But it was really do or die, and I knew I'd have to try. So I gathered all my strength and asked you to dance. I was ready for no thanks, I'll pass, and was so surprised when you said yes. Reached out and put your hand softly in mine. I was afraid you'd feel my heartbeat, or I'd step on you with my nervous feet. But my world changed while we were dancing slow, for I knew right then I'd never let you go.
So
Well, like I said, this one would be a tough one for me today.
let's talk about who this is about.
Isn't it? It's Mom. It's Ann. I mean, the whole song relates and reflects as it starts up that we all live every day of our life. We never think about the day as going into a memory bank or a moving picture bank and coming back out. A lot of things in my life have done that, and the moving picture reels didn't start until later on, but then I was shocked at what I remember. But this day, I'd never forget. We laughed about it for years with my best friend, Dave Lofstrom, who's now gone. Rest in peace, Davey. And I were at the Club Tropical in Brockton, Mass, on Court Street, top of the hill, almost on Main Street. It was a cool night. It was winter. It's a dance studio. We were big shots. We had just gone into high school. We were in the 10th grade. So we went up the stairs to dance, David and I, to see what was happening up there. And there was this gal dressed in a yellow jumpsuit. And Dave and I both looked at her and immediately looked at each other and both said at the same time, "She's mine," as two guys would. I said, "Well, we got a problem." And he said, "Yep." And he put his hand in his pocket. He came out with a dime. That's all he had in his pocket was a dime.
Just a dime?
That's the
I
dime.
guess a dime was like a quarter back then, huh?
Well, yeah, it was more than a quarter back then. So he flipped it, and I called it, and I won the flip. And it was the best victory I think I've ever had in my life, obviously. So I had the chance to go ask Ann to dance. And the song says the words. I never expected her to even say yes, but she did. And the words reflect literally everything that happened in that song to me with my heart, worried about my feet. Uh, it was just something I'll never forget. That song that we danced to was called Lovely Eyes. That was a song that was written in 1956. And you have such lovely eyes. You know, you tell such lovely lies with your two lovely eyes. The devil is a woman. You probably sing that whole song word for word, but the melody was just something else. And so everything in that song is just locked in. Like I can push a button and the motion picture is right there. And that's what started the process for writing the song. Was in my head was I had such vivid memories of it. It was very easy to write.
How old were you guys when you met? Because you met very, very young and you married very young.
Yeah, we were kids. I was 15. Mom was 15. Uh, about to turn 16 because I got my license very soon after that. The first trip that my dad would allow me to take the car by myself was right to Ann's house on the east side of Brockton. So uh, that dance turned into a romance, 1960s style, kid style, never expecting it to last probably more than a month or two. But it's lasted 60 years, and I've been blessed. I've been really blessed with a wonderful woman. David and I talked many times. We had a lifelong relationship. But when he and I were together, he'd often say, boy, you got the best side of that dime. And we used to joke about it all the time. Before he passed away a few years back, we even talked about it at that point, too.
And marriages like that in your generation, they're a lot more common than they are now. And I feel so incredibly blessed to have been raised by two people that stayed together and weathered the storms together. I know for myself in my own life, that's where I got my fortitude from. That is just incredible. And anybody who knows our mother knows that she is such a beautiful woman. She is beautiful physically, and she is such a beautiful woman inside. And we, as a family, are so blessed to have her. And so you went on, you had a romance, you had three kids together. And now, how many grandkids do you have now? You better say the right number.
No, I got it. I got it all down pat. 4 grandchildren and 10 great grandbabies.
So you talk a lot about memories being an inspiration to you. What do you feel about love being an inspiration? I mean, you've been together with mom now for 60 years, and obviously there's a lot of love there. How does love influence your work?
Wow, that's a heavy question. Love can make some of the happiest days of your life and some of the saddest days of your life. And I think the definition of love is to be able to pass those heights and lows and at least get through them. Um, it's just a very difficult word to define. I mean, love has different stages too, at least in my experience, has a lot of different stages. When you're young, love means more physical, being together, doing things. As you get older and as you get to our age, it's a lot more of you know each other, you know your mental, you know I know what mom's going to do before she does, and vice versa. Um, and that's because we've experienced so much with each other. I have one song that we'll do at some point about the old man.
That's going to be a good one, but we will save that.
Yeah, well, one of the lines in there is, you know, don't fool this guy because you're stepping in my footsteps. I've been
Yeah.
on that bus before.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with love, basically, too. I mean, it's experience. Love is experience to me. And, you know, you experience a lot of good things, easy things, mediocre things, and very difficult things in life. And you do that as a team. And with Ann and I, we've been able to, for the most part, do that as a team, you know, and we've always had the one ability, no matter what happens, to sit down and talk about things and listen to each other. So love is listening too and understand it.
If there was any younger people listening to this or watching this, if there was one piece of advice you could offer to them about committing to a long-term relationship, what would that be? Like, what's the secret sauce? Is there any?
Well, I think the secret sauce, at least from mom and my perspective, is we came from families where that was like, hey, going to marry this girl, even if you are only 19, you're going to stay married to her. I mean, I got my marching orders. My dad was a big guy, so I didn't
He
want to
was.
try to challenge him ever. But that's not the reason we stayed together all the time. But I mean, the lessons were there, and we saw that within our own families and uncles and aunts that they got married, and they got married after the war, and most of them have now passed. But when they passed, they were still married, and they had troubles. Every one of them had troubles, and everybody has difficulties. So the generational thing is important to me. We were taught to work these things out. That's another whole story right now. Today, I'm afraid, personally, from my perspective, that most young people don't have the ability to work things out. They're too early on the iPads and the iPhones and texting and face to face working with each other or going through conflicts is
And
something that's
understanding
okay.
human emotional relationship, whether it's a friendship, a sibling relationship, a romantic relationship. Um, I know that technology can get in the way of that. I experienced it in my own life, and I try to avoid it.
Yeah,
I spent the
well,
last almost 2 years off of social media just because couldn't cope with it. So
Your generation, it started. Almost buddy, your cousins, my cousins, a lot of them have gone through divorces and I'm not trying to second guess anybody, obvious. I'm just saying that um, as each generation passes, it's easier just to say, you know, this isn't working. See you later. To this point now where I'm not even sure that marriage is an important institution anymore. From what I can observe, that's just a personal comment.
yeah. Well, I'd like to see it survive. I know for me, if there's anything that I could tell young people is unconditional love is also key. Unconditional love means exactly that, unconditional. And a lot of times when you're in a relationship, they're two very different people. So I know mom is very different from you, and I'm married to somebody who's very different from me, but we find common ground. The more that we expand on that, our relationship grows and it turns into a beautiful friendship. At the same time, it's a love relationship. It's just it's really wonderful, but you have to let go of the conditions. At least that's what I have found too. Unconditional love is very hard. And it has to start with yourself. And if you don't have it for yourself, it's very hard to have it for somebody else long term.
And I think the one word that we're leaving out, true love, is to forgive. Uh, and, God teaches us love, but God teaches us to forgive. And without forgiveness, you have nothing. I mean, we all make mistakes, and those mistakes can come in 1,000 different ways. So you have to have the ability to understand, try to relate, and hey, we're human. We can make a mistake. And if you can put that into your own being and transfer that out to your partner, then you've got something. A lot of relationships fall apart because people can't just get over something that's going on or happened. It's just people sometimes have difference of opinion. And you hit it right on the head. I think the reason that mom and I are still together, God bless, is that we are totally opposite. Totally. And we've known that almost since day one. I'm a dreamer. And mom is dot the I, cross the T, Irish German. And there's no gray with mom. But I tend to walk between black and white all the time. That's the way I live. I want to test both sides. Where mom is, hey, I'm straight here. This is the road I'm on, and I'm sticking on it. And I can say to mom, well, I'm going to take this right down here because that looks like fun. And she's going to say, well, I'll meet you on the other side, but I'm not going down that road. Uh, uh, but we've gone through life and we've allowed each other to do that. And it's been neat. Even the sad times have been educational and learning walks for both of us. And we're still blessed to be together. And I thank God every day that I have her. So.
Now, you had mentioned in in our last podcast that Grampy Bagden, your dad, never told you that he loved you until the day that he died. Has that transferred onto your life? Or I know you tell me you love me. Do you feel that you share your expression of love easily with the people that are in your life? Or
Well, yeah, I don't have any problem with it, and that's probably the reason. I'm a hugger. I'm a touchy-feely. Whether it's another guy or a gal or anything else, it's a hug, "How you doing?" and a pat on the back. It's not, "How you doing?" Stand off 10 feet. And I think my experience growing up is a reason that I probably go overboard the other way. I think it's important that we tell everybody we love them as much as we possibly can.
absolutely.
And I probably have that message in my songs too much. A lot of my songs have at least one line in it that say you told somebody you love them today because it's true. Now, it doesn't have to be a human being. I've got a deep, deep feeling for Mother the Earth and old forests and walking through those trails and just feeling the spirits that are around you is a love for this world, and life.
Yeah, I love that otherworldly love. I have a very good and strong and deep relationship with God and all that goes with it. All the people have passed before us and our animals that have passed before us. And even my animals now, I probably love a little too much like children, but they're happy. They're happy here. So that's all that matters. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you'd like to say about this particular song?
It starts out a young person and living a day one day at a time and only worrying about the day, not realizing that they're going to wake up one morning and realizing, uh-oh, I'm not young anymore and I'm old, and how that affects you. And the song ends with the implication that we're all starring in our own matinee and we're all starring in our own movie. And we should all be able to sit down, close our eyes, and relive the good parts of our life. And that's the message out of Matinee of Memories. That one was one of the easiest to write. And I think when people listen to it, they'll be able to resonate with it right away. It's one of those ones that you love writing. When you're writing, like I do, it's every once in a while you get something like that and you say to yourself, wow, this is what it's about. It doesn't take a paragraph today and another month later a paragraph comes to you.
Yeah, kind of comes out at once in a stream of consciousness kind of way. Well, we will be playing the full version of the song at the end of this podcast. So, for those of you that are still here, please stick around. Dad, I just had one other question for you. This song structure, I would say, or music, is very different from the first one. So, the first one had a kind of country feel to it. This one has more of a ballad feel to it. Is that part of you just exploring and experimenting with setting these songs up? Or are you trying to use the music to portray a certain mood and a feeling? So it doesn't always have to be country. It doesn't always have to be another genre.
And you're going to see that throughout everything that I've done. I have been involved with music since I've been 6 years old, 7 years old. And I mean, I've gone from country to rock to pop rock,
Mhm.
but I've done the whole work. I've played brass instruments, I've played in orchestras, I've sung in choirs. I've sung in choirs since I was 8 or 9 years old. I played the guitar. I've got enough musical background to be really dangerous.
Clearly, we can hear it.
With this kind of ability now with the AI, and believe me, I've got to tell you right up front, and I'll say it 100 more times in these things, nobody respects artists more than I do. I mean, true musical artists that pick up that guitar, get up on stage, belt out a song, and give you goosebumps. That is never going to change. That's what people pay to see is that live performance, especially if there's a good piece that they're singing. With me, what I can do now is I've got all of this myriad work here of words that I would like to share with people and that people have asked me to share with them. And so I can get into this one program sooner. It's the only one I'm using.
Mhm.
because it allows me to do what I want to do. I'm not using it for any word help or anything else like that with AI language to write the song. I get in and I have 12 what they call stems, but the 12 tracks that I can play with that allow me to do everything that I want to, from the bass line, the type of bass instruments, whether it's a bass guitar or drum or whatever kind of drum. I can write these songs and give it the direction that I want it to go in. And so you'll see, I just finished one that came out very Dylan-esque, and I love it. I mean, I really love the song. When I publish something, I'm not trying to keep it in country pop or whatever. It's going to run all over the gamut, but it's the way I think that song should come out in my head.
Mm. I love that. I love that. You're gonna keep us coming back for more because we're never gonna know what we're gonna get next, so that's great.
Well, wait till we get into the Native American stuff that I've written. I mean, then it really can get, from a musical standpoint, challenging to.
Yeah, but the stories will be really good too.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to get there. All right. Well, this was wonderful. Once again, Dad, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I think it's really important to get these words out, and everybody that I've been sharing them with just absolutely loves them. You're starting to get a little fan base now, which I think is wonderful. And I'm really looking forward to our next podcast.
You too.
All right. Well,
Always.
I love you.
Love you
And
too,
I
sweetheart.
hope you have a wonderful day, and we will meet back again here in 1 week.
Okay.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
I spent a lifetime making movies, although I didn't know the things I do would stay with me as a moving picture show. I've always lived within the present, sometimes wandering off the line, and making precious memories was really never on my mind. Most of that road is behind me now. The path ahead is short and slow, and I'm finding that my memories help keep me on the go. 'Cause now I'm much too old to fly, but I can still open my mind's eye and see of my sweet memories. It was the fall of '62 when I first laid my eyes on you, and didn't think I'd ever have a chance. But it was really do or die, and I knew I'd have to try. So I gathered all my strength and asked you to dance. I was ready for no thanks, I'll pass, and was so surprised when you said yes. Reached out and put your hand softly in mine. I was afraid you'd feel my heartbeat, or I'd step on you with my nervous feet. But my world changed while we were dancing slow. For I knew right then I'd never let you go. It might have been the soft touch of your hand on my neck, or your forehead touching mine so close I felt the sweetness of your breath in the dance, now locked forever in my mind. Now it's 60 years together, facing life's peaks and valleys, and our dance has taken us to mountain tops and alleys. 3 healthy kids we watched grow and go without reservation. They took our dance on the road and have given us 4 full generations. Now the dinner's done and the music starts. You know you still hold me in a trance. Nothing's gonna pull us apart. Can I have another dance? music starts, I spent a lifetime making movies. Although I didn't know the things I do would stay with me deep within my soul. I was just a kid when I first saw you, wasn't sure what I should do, but I was sure of one thing, and that one thing was you. We married young and stuck it out through all the ups and downs, with our 3 beautiful kids in several different towns. Now we're much too old to fly, but it's not so hard to see. Our matinee of memories, co-staring, you and me. We just have to open our mind's eye and watch our matinee of memories. There's a message in this story, something we all ought to know. You know we're all making our own movies. You're the star of your own show. All the things we take for granted, all the good times, all the strife, all the seeds that we've planted as we walk the stage of life. What we do and how we do it is the whole theme of the show, performing for the multitudes everywhere we go. And then one day you'll realize that old rear view doesn't lie, when overnight you understand you're much too old to fly, but you can close your eyes and see a matinee of your own memories, a matinee of your own precious memories.